Chris Sims ranks quarterbacks every single season.
Is that Phil Sims' son?
Yeah, Phil Sims' son. Oh. Yes. Apparently, it's very anticipated. I've actually never seen it before, but people look forward to this.
I anticipate it.
I hadn't. I've heard of it, but I've never really dove too far into it. Really good format too. But he had the highest ranked rookie quarterback in the history of his rankings. Jack won't be happy about this, but Caleb Williams, the Bears quarterback,
enough.
Number 20, first ever rookie quarterback in the top 20.
He USC hat off now.
First ever rookie quarterback in the top 20 of Sims rankings. He said, "I look at him as being a natural, being a chosen one type of guy." That's the label he had on Williams' spot on the list, the chosen one. His physical talent's extraordinary. I think he has the mentality and the maturity to handle Chicago and handle the new offensive situation. So when you take a look at the actual rankings, the 35 to 20 that's come out so far, here's what you got. You got Jameis Winston. And tell me here if anyone you would take over Caleb Williams for next season, okay, guys? Jameis Winston, Bryce Young, Sam Darnold, number 32, Anthony Richardson, which I thought was kind of low for AR. And then 31, Ryan Tannehill. Then he goes in his top 30, J.J. McCarthy, 30, Bo Nix, 29, Jaden Daniels, 28, Michael Penix Jr., 27. So there's all your rookies. Will Levis, 26, Justin Fields, 25, Deshaun Watson, 24, Daniel Jones, 23, Derek Carr, 22, Russell Wilson, 21, and then Caleb Williams there at 20. Do you guys think that's we're going to have our quarterback list come out on next week's episode, but does 20 feel like the right spot for Caleb Williams?
No, I put him late 20s.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let me go to Ziggy because Jack. We know Jack's answer.
This guy. All right, go ahead, Ziggy. You first.
I was going to say, I think that list is instructive in the following way. If nothing else, it tells you who Caleb Williams actually needs to be better than to be the 20th best quarterback in the NFL. I think 20th is fair for the reason of how shocking would it be if Derek Carr or Deshaun Watson or, some of the guys, Ryan Tannehill, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields have better seasons than him? I'd be pretty darn surprised. Caleb Williams does not need to be, what he needs to be is a slightly below average NFL quarterback to hit that. And it's certainly possible. You give him a healthy season with a Bears offense and Shane Waldron calling the plays. I totally think he can be an average quarterback in the NFL next year.
Oh, he definitely could be average.
He wasn't average at USC. He was 6-6.
No, he's much better than average at USC.
So here's the thing. That list of names you just read, right? Jameis Winston, who to me is the best college QB I've ever seen in my life. Deshaun Watson, right? Who else was on there?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Fields.
No. Go higher on the list. Who did you say?
All the rookies.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, Darnold.
Right, Tannehill.
I can't believe Anthony Richardson's 32.
Tannehill, right?
Tannehill, 31.
All of these guys were so amazing playing in college. Flat out amazing. When I watch Caleb Williams, I see Marcus Mariota. Lights up the Pac-12, looks really, really good. There's so many of these quarterbacks who I watched in college. I'm like, these guys are flat out awesome. I just don't understand this mega hype around this dude. I don't see how people think he is heads and shoulders better than any one of the guys on this list were in college. I don't think he's just not.
Paul, can I talk for a second?
How can you say that they're the best prospect, the chosen one, the best ever, blah, blah, blah? These guys were all fantastic at the college level.
Good, yeah.
Now they're average QBs in the NFL.
First of all, yeah, so that's a really good point, Jack, and a lot of people make this. I think it's worth sitting down for a second to see why people say things like this. Let's set aside the Caleb Williams chosen one best prospect ever, because nobody who knows anything is actually saying stuff like that. Why should we think, as you say, let's say that Caleb Williams had a similar college career to those guys. Why should you think that Caleb Williams has a chance of being better
Justin Fields, too.
NFL?
Justin Fields.
That's a great question. And the answer has to do with something that a statistician would call a Bayesian prime. Let's set that aside and talk a little bit. No, come back.
I'm back.
I'll put this a little bit more simple. Here's the point. We have lots of evidence that Justin Fields is not going to be a good NFL quarterback. All of the time that he's played in the NFL and wasn't. Caleb Williams, we don't have that evidence. So just on that basis alone, you have more reason to believe that Caleb Williams will be a good NFL quarterback than Justin Fields, because you don't have that evidence saying he's going to be bad. Now you can say, well, their college careers were pretty similar. Maybe Fields even had a better college career.
100%.
Yeah, let's say that. Even if that is true, that doesn't matter because we have so much evidence that Justin Fields isn't going to be good in the NFL that we don't have for Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams has the same career that Justin Fields has in the NFL up until this point, you should deliver exactly the same judgment. But we don't have that evidence. So you don't have the same reasons to think Caleb Williams isn't going to be good.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying, and I know that makes total sense. But I think I'm just a little ticked off on how people are saying he's just going to be this insane NFL quarterback.
But putting him at 20th in the NFL isn't saying he's going to be insane. It's saying he's going to be below average.
Not saying, but not saying he'll be, but this like the best prospect of all time, and like all the hype that he's getting. Everybody's saying that.
No. Who said Caleb Williams is the best prospect of all time?
I mean, I've heard that from a lot of people.
Nobody who is actually looking at quarterbacks. I saw it more in the beginning,
but not as much coming into the draft.
So going into the draft, nobody who was seriously evaluating quarterbacks said he was a better. The honest thing you could say is he was the best prospect since Trevor Lawrence. And if you just threw a glass darkly, you could say he's the best prospect since Andrew Luck.
Chosen one might just be for Chicago. That actually might be what he's saying.
So all I'm saying is, I see your point, Ziggy, on how these quarterbacks have shown that they are very below average in the NFL, and Caleb Williams has not shown that yet. But what I'm saying is, I look at all of these quarterbacks who I thought were just as good, if not better, at the college level, and that Caleb Williams will be on the same trajectory.
Yeah, so Jay, I think in all seriousness, this is an interesting point, right? So Caleb Williams, the chances that he becomes, let's say a 90th percentile quarterback in the NFL, right? One of the best guys in the NFL. You can look at the numbers as a top 3 pick. The chances are like 20%. The chances are not very good. But what that should tell you is that I think with his profile, he's got as good a chance of being a top quarterback in the NFL as anyone selected in the top 3 in the past 10 years. But those odds are bad. So saying that Caleb Williams is a surefire great quarterback in the NFL is ridiculous. It's just that he's got as good a chance as someone we've seen. And I think it's tough for people to keep those two things in mind. And I think that for fans who are watching this season play out, you've got to remember both of those things. And if he puts together a tough first season, that doesn't mean he's going to suck. But the odds that Caleb Williams becomes genuinely elite are just not that high.
Yeah.
But they're as good as anyone you've seen.
They're as good as anyone we've seen. And the situation that he's in, I mean, I know it's Chicago and the history they have, but we talked about it before. The guys that he has around him, especially at wide receiver right now, offensive line hopefully can hold up. DeAndre Swift there at running back.
Hold there, though.
It is. No, it is. It is. But the situation...
He's got Shane Waldron. Well, Shane Waldron will keep him warm.
The situation he's in as well, is a beneficial one, especially for a number 1 overall pick, given the trade, because you don't normally see a number 1 overall pick have this much talent on offense and defense around him. So the situation is there for Caleb Williams to be very, very good next season. And yeah, that's probably why he's at 20. And there is a little bit of that. I mean, even Sims said, he said he's extraordinary, a chosen one type of guy. Like, he is hyping him up to a degree where I think it starts to piss off Jack.
It's absurd.
But at the same time, Ziggy's right in that we've seen Sam Darnold and Bryce Young now have seasons where they weren't very good. So is it crazy to say, hey, we expect Caleb Williams to be better? No. And we'll have our quarterback list coming out.
That kind of goes for my argument too. Like, we've seen all these guys in college at the same kind of,
I completely
same kind of hype.
Yeah, what you're saying.
And I will say, maybe it'll prove me wrong. Maybe it will.
Yeah, I mean, he has guys like Baker, Tua, Geno. I'm assuming Geno Smith will be ahead of him. If you gave me just next season, I'd probably take Caleb. I'd probably rather have Caleb than Baker Mayfield or Geno. I like Baker a lot, but again, I'd rather roll the dice on Caleb Williams. Do you disagree with that, Ziggy?
If we're talking just one season, take the guy who's put together a great NFL season before.
Yeah, take Baker.
Both of those guys have put together great NFL seasons.
Yeah,
recently, right? Because this is the thing. When you look at guys like Derek Carr, it's been a long time. It has not been a long time since Geno or Baker Mayfield have put together great seasons.
I would, and we'll move on to the Lions here in just a second. I would definitely take Caleb over Geno. I think by middle of next season, Caleb Williams you'll start to see that ascension. That's like, he has so much more potential than those guys, where I would roll the dice on it. And of course it's a roll of the dice, but We'll talk about more in the quarterback rankings next week. That'll be fun to see how far down Jack has Caleb Williams.
32.